what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm gonna get right into it. Zack Snyder dropped probably the biggest bomb regarding the Snyder Cut, like the middle of the night. I happened to see it because I was awake for a little while in an awkward time, and I was like mind blown, confused. I don't know what to think. It's crazy. He shared a picture of Henry Cavill in the black suit for Justice League. Have we seen him in a black suit before? Yes, in Man of Steel when Zod is showing him what he plans to do to the Earth. But this is different because this is for Justice League, and everyone was hoping, assuming, just thinking that the black suit would be in the movie, that he would wear the black suit because he's being resurrected after sacrificing himself, and that's when the black suit comes into play for Superman. So it's a big deal. Of course, anytime he shares something, it's a pretty big deal. But with Superman and everything that happened with Justice League with his character, it's just an even bigger deal when it's for Superman. And a lot of people have pointed out that this is the first picture from the movie, about the movie, that Zack has shared that was in color and not in black and white. He tends to share the Snyder Cut pictures in black and white, and then other people will kind of like colorize them and stuff like that for us to see in color. But Zack Snyder tends to share them in black and white. Gorgeous picture, gorgeous suit. I'm like, I mean, not that I'm surprised, but oh my god, like, okay, we knew the black suit was in the movie because of thanks to a deleted scene. No thanks to Warner Brothers. The deleted scene where he goes to the ship, we see one pod open up, has the black suit, the other pod has the red and blue suit. He comes out, he has the traditional suit on, the Flight 2.0 scene. People are confused because Zack was replying to all these questions on Vero about, well, when does he have it in the movie? Because we've seen all these pictures of deleted scenes that you supposedly shot, and the deleted scenes that we got with him going to talk to Alfred and at the ship, and he has the blue suit on. He never has the black suit on in any of the pictures or videos that we've seen of deleted scenes. So Zack said, okay, I have a bunch of stuff saved from people asking questions and Zack replying. Probably don't have all of them, but I have a good amount. Someone said, okay, on the DVD release, they added some deleted scenes, yours, of him in the scout ship looking at the suits. He passed the black suit and goes to the classic red and blue shortly before Flight 2.0. We didn't get to see this yet. So in your cut, does he go back to the black after looking at the classic suit? What I was just talking about. And Zack Snyder says that's right. Meaning he chooses the black suit instead. But then it's weird because when he goes to see Alfred, he doesn't have a black suit on. So, another person asked, do you mean he wears it even at the final battle? And Zack says, yes. What? So that's saying, like, pretty much from the time he comes back, he goes to the ship, he gets the black suit, and then up until the final battle, through the end of the movie, he has the black suit on. Another person, but doesn't Flight 2.0 happen with the traditional suit? Everyone keeps asking about that because those are the deleted scenes we got to see, like completed deleted scenes, you know. Zack says, let's put it this way, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he will have a black suit. I'm going to go back to that one because that one stands out to me a lot in just a minute. Zack Snyder he also described that he loves both suits, but it was going to be a journey for Superman to go back to the classic suit. And someone asked, what is the journey Superman takes to go back to the blue suit? And he says that was to come in the next 2 movies. So pretty big character arc, character development they had planned for Superman, which is Zack Snyder, so that's not surprising, right? Someone also asked, were we meant to see or listen to Jor again? Replying to Jor-El, of course, the consciousness of him that Superman interacts with in the ship. And Zack just gave a some emojis, the strong arm emoji, and a thumbs up. So that's a yes. Another one that was kind of funny to me was someone tell him, mate, how many more of these bangers do you have just lying around? Because he's always just like, here, 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 you know. And Zack said, the movie's almost 11 hours long, so a lot. That's another bomb in and of itself. We did see the runtime on the picture of the vault that he posted, but man, oh my goodness, like, of all, I tweeted this, so follow me on Twitter, you probably saw it, but of all the things that Zack has ever shared with us, I never thought that we would see something like this with Superman, especially. I mean, he's shared pictures of him in the traditional suit, a bunch of other stuff, dark side, I mean, tons of stuff. But this, like I said, is a really big deal because this is such a different story, you know? Like, it just completely changes the story for Superman. Which, yes, we know they changed it, but this is just adding another element to that. We saw the black suit in the ship. We didn't know he actually wears it. And then, you know, like, keeps it. So, I want to go back to what he said about in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He will have a black suit. I think that his choice of words is very interesting. Some people might think that, well, a lot of people have paid attention to the way he said that. Some people might think you're overthinking it, reading too much into it, just, you know, seeing what we want to see, whatever. But there's a lot of ways he could have said that. He could have said, first of all, I like that he's calling it Zack Snyder's Justice League, because clearly he doesn't want credit for the one that was released in theaters. So that I like. And then, but he could have said he would have had a black suit. He should have had a black suit. I wanted him to have a black suit. The plan was to have a black suit. There's a lot of ways he could have said that would have implied past tense. Could have, should have, would have. You know, just something that describes a past tense of it. Sorry, baby. But he didn't. He said will have, meaning, well, not meaning necessarily, but giving the feeling, giving the idea that it's something that we can expect or hope to expect at least. So I thought that was pretty interesting. That's a pretty confident way to say that, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't know. This past month and a half, I have been more on the positive side that we hopefully should get the Snyder Cut at some point, maybe next year, because HBO Max is coming out. I mean, it's just been at such another level, this whole Snyder Cut thing, not just from the fans, but from Zack, from cast members, from all these other celebrities, from, you know, fast food restaurant chains. I mean, it's gotten huge, and it's just like gone from here to here in a very short period of time, just recently. And I've said it before about when Henry Cavill made statements in the Men's Health article, and then even further in one of the interviews for promoting The Witcher. A lot of people were getting on his case, thinking like, oh, he didn't share hashtag release the Snyder Cut on any social media. He's not talking about it. He's not acknowledging it. You know, in that Witcher interview, he, you know, didn't want to say that it exists, and etc. But people are focusing a lot on what he's not saying and not enough on what he does say. He makes it very clear in the Men's Health article and that interview. I very much want to still be Superman. I don't want to give up the role. But he continues, he goes further. He doesn't just say that. He significantly clarifies that he loves Man of Steel. He wants to continue that story that they started with him in that movie. That's Zack Snyder. That's his verse. That's his Superman. He acknowledges that BVS was dark because it was around Batman, and it worked for that story. And what they did with Superman and their feud, and you know how Batman viewed Superman, etc. And then he even says Justice League did not work. The version that we got in theaters, obviously. So he makes it pretty clear and obvious which version of Superman he wants to continue with. And he's also, I think, being very cautious about how he says and words things when he's asked about it, because he doesn't know he doesn't know what the studio wants to do with his character. Well, he might, but I don't think he feels as secure as Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot, obviously, because their sequels are coming out. They're more secure in their roles. He's not, because they don't ever want to say anything about Superman or address it. We keep getting all these other movies announced and not him. And they didn't bring him back properly in Justice League, so I just think he feels kind of defeated, slightly. I know that he wants to fight to keep his role as Superman. And Ben Affleck knows he's out, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Unfortunately. But I think he just feels like he needs to tread carefully when it comes to those questions, because it is sensitive. It doesn't mean he doesn't support it internally, but I think externally and explicitly, he's just trying to tread carefully until he knows something for sure. Or until maybe the Snyder Cut does come out, and then I think he might be subtle about, if it comes out or if it gets announced that it's going to come out, I think he will share something and be subtle about it, which takes me back to a picture that he shared a long time ago before, like, I think when the movie was being shot, Justice League, before all the stuff happened with Zack Snyder leaving and everything, he shared a picture, a very up-close picture of the Superman suit, but we couldn't tell if it was a black suit or a black and white picture of the suit. Everyone was hoping that it was the black suit and assuming, just because we know he's being resurrected, etc., what I was talking about earlier. But now I think, and all he put was #Superman. He didn't elaborate, of course, because he tends to be kind of subtle and mysterious that way. But I think it probably was, now seeing this picture. I mean, if people question or doubt whether or not he's on board with Zack Snyder's Superman, then you're just not paying attention to the stuff he says. Because he makes that pretty obvious. And like I said, other movies have, like, they're going to release them. Like, we know about them. We don't know anything about Superman. Flash finally got a release date. Oh my god, it should have been out like this year, this coming up year, or this year, 2019. July, excuse me, of 2022. And then also that year in December, Aquaman sequel. And Ezra Miller as Flash, so yay. Of course, we have Wonder Woman coming out this upcoming summer. So I think, like I said, he's just trying to be sure about what's going to happen with his character. But I do think, I don't think he wouldn't be able to just not say anything if it gets announced that the movie's coming out, the Snyder Cut, or it does at some point. I think he would, like I said, I think he would be subtle about it. Because I don't think he feels like they just completely butchered his character, you know, and after the ending he had in BVS, and then they bring him back like that, and they just completely ruin him for people, like, that's humiliating. I'm sure he wants nothing to do with the theatrical version. He's made that pretty clear. Listen to what he says. He obviously supports Zack Snyder's version of Superman. Otherwise, I don't think he would have even signed up for it in the first place. He knew what Zack Snyder had in mind, what he had planned. I'm on board with it, and he still wants that. So, yeah, pay attention to what he says about it. And again, oh, another thing I wanted to talk about about the Snyder Cut. Another reason why I think it's kind of interesting that it's been so amplified and they've been so transparent about it recently, Zack Snyder and the cast and everything, except for Ray Porter, the guy who was supposed to play Darkseid, Uxas, whatever. When Zack Snyder shared the picture, that CGI picture, and, you know, Gal Gadot's in the booth doing voiceover and stuff, he hadn't seen that. Ray Porter hadn't seen that picture that Zack Snyder shared. And on Twitter that day, he was saying, like, oh, I haven't seen this. It's so cool to see this. And people, you know, he's like, thanks for the support and all this stuff. People were asking him questions, but he couldn't answer them. Not because he didn't know the answer, but because he was telling them, I wish I could tell you, but I can't. Hopefully one day I can tell you. I wish there's so much I would like to tell you. Hopefully one day I can speak about it. Why can't he talk about the movie? If it was a few years ago, like all these other cast members are able to talk about it, assuming now that their NDAs are probably no longer enforced. Because before they were kind of like, except Jason Momoa was a little bit more out there about it, and so was Ray Fisher. But now it's like, just got this big push with Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck and stuff. So I think it's kind of interesting. It's worth noting, I think, that Ray Porter has said that he's not allowed to at this point. Why would his NDA still be enforced and the other ones not? The other cast members. It's okay. Thank you, baby. Did he finish the movie with Zack Snyder and his NDA is still, he still can't talk about it? That's interesting to me because everyone else is able to say something and he's not. And it's not like he was there shooting the movie. He was there at the same time with them. So I wonder, it's just interesting to me. But anyway, beautiful picture. We'll see what else. I mean, that for me was like, whoa. It's not a storyboard. It's not concept art. It's not a computer. It's not a CGI image. It's him in the suit. Just, right? Okay. A collective from everybody, I think. But thanks for watching, guys. Check out the links in the description. Beautiful activewear apparel, men and women. There's a promo code in the description, so you can get 15% off. Even if items are on sale, you can still apply the promo code. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.